shit.
Hold on, what I need.
Next country hit? Hell no, I'm not giving y'all no more hints. No more hints. Yeah, I got a schedule so people can know what time I'm streaming.
I just saw a video of IShowSpeed getting racially abused in Bosnia. And to be honest, it didn't surprise me because I've talked about this for years. And I've really always tried to talk about my experience. I mean, the coldness in some part of Europe. I previously made a video about how shocking my experience in Europe has been so far. And IShowSpeed's experience from the video we all saw is only proof of it. So for context, I've lived in both Europe and China. And as a black person, my experience in these two places couldn't be more different. So in this video, I would like us to talk about this topic, Europe versus China, especially when it comes to racism. First and foremost, let's be clear, this isn't a video to bash Europe and say, oh, Europe is the devil and something like that. Another is it to say China is perfect in every single way. This is just my own truth. I mean, I feel like a Gen Z now. And what I mean is, what does it feel like walking on the street of Europe versus walking in China? What does it feel like? I mean, as a foreigner. So let's get into it. When I first got to China, I stood out a lot, obviously. People would stare. Sometimes it was really awkward. People would ask you to take photos with them. Some can even point to your hair, your skin, and say really funny stuff. Because, I mean, they've never seen a black person before. Some would even say, why are you black? But here is the thing. I didn't feel it was mean. I didn't really feel hated. It was just more like curiosity. That's what I felt. Like, wow, you're different. They really want to know more about you. I had people walk around and say hello. Little kids would normally wave. I mean, taxi drivers would ask some questions where you'd feel like, oh, that was a stupid question. But most of the time, I felt it was ignorance. I never really felt it was malicious. And I think that really matters a lot. So I'm not saying China doesn't have its own racism or racist tendencies, but it's just kind of really unique and maybe more straightforward. So now let's talk about Europe. Europe feels different, to be honest. Not everywhere, obviously, and not every places. But you get these stares, the same type of stares. But in this case, it's not curiosity. It's cold. I've heard stories about black people working in shops in Italy, Greece, or in the UK, and the clerk in that shop would basically follow them all around. I mean, leave his own post and wouldn't even say a word, but we just stare. Not out of curiosity, but it's because they think that guy will steal something in the store. I mean, it's even worse in Eastern Europe. I mean, the stories I've heard, it's worse in Eastern Europe. I mean, where basically a group of guys would shout racial slurs at people across the streets. I mean, this is supposed to be the so-called modern world or diverse places. And that's often where this feeling like you don't really belong here comes in. Racism is not always violence, but sometimes it can be in the eyes. The way they stare at you, the way people grab their backs tighter, like, oh, you're coming to steal something. The way police can slow down sometimes when they see you. I've seen videos like that very often. And it's not curiosity, it's suspicion and mostly racism. So when I saw what happened to IShowSpeed in Bosnia, it wasn't shocking at all. It was more like disappointment, because if Speed could have experienced that kind of thing, meaning it's not just about poverty or crime or the things black people do in these countries, because IShowSpeed is a total foreigner and is probably richer than every average person in Bosnia, in this average Bosnian city. So all this is most likely rather from a mindset that others feel like, oh, that guy is not as good as me. And they will try their best to make the guy feel worthless. And don't get me wrong, there are some really good people in Europe. Some of the best people you would actually meet on earth in the whole wide world are Europeans. But when the culture allows everybody to have a voice, including these bad people, you're bound to get the good deeds of an average European suppressed. Racism isn't always about slurs or violence. It's how places make people feel. In China, people didn't really understand me because I'm totally different. They probably never seen someone like me before. But they most likely are okay and kind. But in Europe, you know, these are people who probably have lived with a black person or a brown person, and they know what they are doing. They've had enough experience with foreigners, but they still chose to 8. I mean, they still chose 8 over love. This video isn't about saying China is better than Europe. It's just highlighting what my own honest experience has been and why people might be shocked about the racial gap in Europe. I mean, considering the number of diversity, the amount of diversity in this particular part of the world. So if you've experienced something like this in Europe, comment down below. Let's all talk about this, because the video about IShowSpeed was a shocker to me. No, I don't want to say it's a shocker. It's more like an eye-opener that this isn't about you're rich, you're poor, you're from a West African country, or you're like, maybe you're ugly. It's nothing to do with that. It is about people feeling they are better than some other group of people, and hence they are trying their best to make them very, very, very bad. They want to make them they want to make them feel very bad, to be honest. So you guys tell me your experience down in the comment section down below. I've mentioned down twice. And I'll see you guys another time. Peace out.